Hi, welcome to the Daily Dose of Dairy Live presentation that was originally made on April 4th, 2017 at the ProFood Tech exposition in Chicago. This installment is on trends in frozen desserts and is sponsored by Pecan Deluxe. Thank you very much, Pecan Deluxe, for making this possible. My name is Donna Berry. I am a food scientist, editor, and consultant. I write the e-newsletter Daily Dose of Dairy, which is brought to you by my website, berryondairy.com. Today I'm going to share with you 5 trends in frozen desserts. And I'm going to qualify what that word trends actually means. And I like to say it's stuff going on in the world that's influencing innovation. That stuff can be everything from consumer behavior to flavor trends to changing menus. You name it, it's influencing innovation. But first, a disclaimer. So in addition to the 5 trends that I'm going to identify, I want you to keep in mind that there is a number 6 and a number 7. 6 is that consumers are unpredictable. They always will be, and always expect the unexpected with them. And 7 is that nostalgic foods resonate with consumers. Stay true to your roots while you get creative. You know, carbonated soft drinks may have fallen out of style, but when a consumer still reaches for that Coke or that Diet Coke, they want it to taste like that Coke or that Diet Coke. They want the real thing. So don't change what you do well, just get creative and offer more options. Now I feel it very important in this day and age that you have to let your audience know you are qualified to speak on the topic. So bear with me just a few minutes while I share with you my qualifications. I was born almost 50 years ago to 42-year-old Francis and 45-year-old Michael, second-generation Poles who grew up in the Great Depression. I came home from the hospital to an 18-year-old brother, 17-year-old sister, and 12-year-old sister. I am what was known at the time as a Catholic oops. Now, though I had older siblings, I was pretty much raised like an only child by a blue-collar factory worker father and a mom who never graduated high school. We had a very urban life in a Chicago bungalow on the north side. However, we had numerous relatives in nearby rural Wisconsin and often got a taste of what farm life was like. Now, jump years. Yeah, go ahead and jump ahead 5 years from my birth, and those older siblings fit every stereotype of a 1970s hippie that was possible, all the way down to the van with fur on the walls and hanging bead curtains. Now, eventually, those hippie siblings of mine did get educated. They grew up, settled down, and bred what we know today to be millennials. They went from hippie to baby boomer and continued to disrupt the world as we knew it. They also raised kids to be quite similar, and that's pretty much where we are today. Now, for as much as I talk, I have been observing behavior for as long as I can remember. And let me tell you, with Great Depression raised parents, hippie siblings, and millennial nieces and nephews, I've observed a lot, and that's just in my house on the holidays. But that, you know, and I continue to observe my family and outsiders. I frequently am at the grocery store and get questioned, why are you just hanging out in the dairy aisle watching what people put in their carts? But I do that, and I actually enjoy doing it. So, you know, but all these observations get combined with my personal worldly experiences, and this is how I make my trends and industry forecast reporting possible. Now, after graduating in food science from the University of Illinois, I worked at Kraft in the early 90s. My assignment was to create fat-free cheese. Now, as you know, the words fat-free and cheese do not belong together. And as you can imagine, this assignment was very unsatisfying, and I eventually left to write for the food trade in 1993, and have been doing that ever since. I cover all areas of food, however, dairy is my focus. So let's talk about what I have experienced since those beginnings in 1993 writing for the food trade. I was there when the nutrition facts made its debut. Prior to that, anything could, well, not anything, but there was no formal nutrition panel. I was there when it happened. I was there when Dean Foods announced that they were finally going to make a single-serve product that fit into a cup holder, the Milk Chug. I was there for it. Ice milk was actually still a legal definition defined product. I was there when it existed and when it went away. Ben & Jerry's was owned by Ben & Jerry. frozen novelties were fun. They were loaded with artificial colors like these Flintstone push-ups that made your mouth the color of the rainbow for days, it seemed. Wells Enterprises was actually Wells Dairy, and they did products other than ice cream. They actually made yogurt and milk and more. Kraft was in the yogurt business. They had Breyer's brands and Light and Lively. And my favorite is that I remember when Greek yogurt was nothing. Greek yogurt was actually a nameless base that was used by Greek restaurants to make that cucumber sauce that went on gyros. We didn't even refer to it as tzatziki. It was simply cucumber sauce. I was there when the Got Milk Mustache campaign started and then when it ended 20 years later. I remember the food pyramid. I remember when there was funding for various dairy industry campaigns, including 3 a Day, which promoted milk, cheese, and yogurt, and then Behold the Power of Cheese. These all existed during my lifetime of writing for the food trade. I remember, and this is probably one of the biggest ones here, I remember when soybeans were the only plant protein threat to the dairy industry. Now you see everything from cashews and coconut and almonds and hazelnuts and flax and hemp and pea protein. So a lot has gone on. And so I take all of this insight, all of this experience, and am able to come up with trends and forecasts for the industry. Go ahead and start. Number 1, I like to call this tasting flavors. There's this photo here of the vanilla and chocolate ice cream. Now, I'm not telling you, and do not walk away and do not say that she said chocolate ice cream is going away. That is not what I'm saying. What I am telling you, though, is that chocolate is a masking flavor. That's why it is used in so many products that are nutritionally based, the bars and the protein shakes and the meal replacements. Chocolate masks flavors. Today's consumer wants to taste flavors. And therefore, other more simple neutral bases tend to be trending in the ice cream category. Now you might say, oh, vanilla is also used in those shakes and those protein bars. And yes, vanilla is, but I'll tell you right now, it doesn't taste good, those vanilla products. And they also have multiple masking flavors added to them. So there is this trend to using more simple, basic flavors with robust inclusions when it comes to the ice cream category. You know, millennials are foodies, and foodies are all about flavor. Now think about this for a minute. Flavor is very different from flavored foods. Foodies do not want to taste flavored strawberry ice cream. Foodies want to taste ice cream that has delicious strawberries in it. Very important distinction. If you can get that, when that resonates, it will help you with your product development. Millennials are foodies. Foodies want flavor. They don't want flavored foods. They want whole flavors, robust ingredients, bold tastes. That's why gelato actually has done well, continues to do well, especially on the food service area. This is actually the gelato counter at the brand new Whole Foods that opened up in Chicago. It's actually the 3rd largest Whole Foods in the world. The first one's in Austin, Texas. The second one is in London, and now the 3rd one is in Chicago. This is the gelato bar, but this is part of this is that whole experience of this rather neutral base. They might have fruit purees in it and might have some fruit flavor in it, but the other additional ingredients that are added on that deliver flavor visually and sensory. This is actually also at that Whole Foods, and I put this here to give you an idea of how consumers are really interacting with their foods, and they want to be able to have hands-on as well as pick and choose those flavors. This is a self-serve mochi bar where there's actually a container. You can buy just one, but the container fits actually 6 of these balls, and you can put it in there and you make your own, let's say, flight of mochi. In food service, a lot of this tasting of the flavor really resonates with places such as Cold Stone Creamery, where they're mixing your inclusions that you choose right into the ice cream. They're bold pieces. Salt and Straw is known for using large, very flavorful ingredients to add excitement and pizzazz to their ice cream. This is the case at that Whole Foods that I mentioned. And the point to show you here is how pints are what's really hot right now. And why are pints so popular? Well, besides the fact that they allow you to not have such a commitment to such a large portion of a flavor like you would get with a quart or a half gallon, pints actually can hold gooey, large, big pieces of ingredients much better than those larger containers, which get taken in and out of the freezer multiple times. You can see from this visual how many different brands are here, how many different packages. You have clear packages, you have paper packages, you have plastic packages, you have handwritten packages, but all about pints, all about flavor. You know, here are some new products from Ben & Jerry's, just to show you how it really, and this is, you know, Ben & Jerry's, I started talking at the beginning about the original, the hippies, and then their millennial children. This bold flavor thing really started in the ice cream category with Ben & Jerry's. I mean, they were the disruptors in ice cream, and they continue to be, and so the millennials today really just learned from their hippie parents when it comes to ice cream, because Ben & Jerry's, that's what they were all about. And here's some of that clear packaging to relay and communicate to you what is inside. Now, you know, what I'm telling you is not new news that consumers like big pieces of things in their ice cream. I mean, this has been going on for a long, long time. But communicating that this is what you're going to get in this product. You're going to get these swirls of caramel, and you're going to get these chunks of, you know, here with the Blue Bunny here, cone pieces, peanut butter swirls and dipped cone pieces, cold brew coffee. It's not just a flavored frozen yogurt that tastes like coffee. It's frozen yogurt with swirls of cold brewed coffee variegate. And here, private label, look, 7-Eleven. I mean, they're doing a great job with their Select line. You can see they're visually showing you exactly what you're going to see in there. You know, millennials these days, they like to take pictures of all their food. They prefer to play with their food and photograph it more than eating it half the time. They want to be able to take that ice scoop of ice cream, that pint of ice cream, and dissect it and pick out the different pieces. When you pick out that strawberry, they want it to taste like the strawberry. When they pick out a chocolate-covered almond, they want to taste all of those components of that chocolate-covered almond. So again, this is where that flavor trend is happening. Friendly's came out with these signature sundaes. Now this goes against everything that I was saying about chocolate not being as a base, which is why I said don't walk away from here and say chocolate is out. But here is an example of how they're layering all these components of a sundae into a package so you can clearly see the different pieces or the different components of what a sundae looks like. This is only a 28-ounce package. I believe it's supposed to serve 4 or 5. And it's chocolate ice cream with a layer of fudge and chunks of fudge and chunks of whipped topping and brownie pieces. And they're not all blended in together. It allows you to actually pick the components and make your own sundae in a. Oh, this is one of my favorites. It's just rolling out right now. Trio by Haagen-Dazs. And you can see, I would actually love to see this being made because it must be an extremely complex process. It literally is layers of flavored ice cream and then layers of crispy Belgium chocolate. So let's just take, for example, here the one flavor. It's crispy Belgium chocolate in between layers of salted caramel and then chocolate ice cream. And these layers go multiple times on. So it's ice cream, layer of chocolate, ice cream, layer of chocolate. So again, the experience of being able to pick it apart, take a couple pictures, post it, hopefully consume it before it all melts. Okay. Number 2, focus on the ingredients along with the flavor. A lot of these trends that I'm going to show to you, we can actually say that, there's probably a fine line, if any line, even dividing them, but I'm pulling them out to really, focus on these different components. But in many cases, one is as much as the other, and they all come together. So focusing on the, what do I mean? Well, here's a really good example of what's going on in the industry. On March 2nd, 2017, Dunkin' Donuts and Baskin-Robbins announced their plans to remove artificial colors from products in the U.S. by the end of 2018. This includes all of their ice cream sold at restaurants and in quarts and pints at retail locations, as well as the syrups, sauces, sprinkles, and beverages that they use with the ice cream or on the side. The exception would be select supplier branded ingredients produced by other companies. I guess a really good example would be an Oreo cookie. They're not going to make the Oreo cookie change what its components are. But nevertheless, this focus on ingredients is very apparent when it comes to artificial ingredients in them. The artificial colors, it's happening. What I actually like to tell people is instead of, or what I'd like to encourage is, instead of taking out the artificial colors and loading it up with natural colors, why not try about going au naturel? I mean, Breyer's ice cream for years and years and years, Breyer's all natural ice cream, the strawberry flavor has always been almost looking like vanilla, very, very little color to it because it just has the strawberry pieces in it. This is not necessarily a bad thing. We don't necessarily need to have all our ice cream look like that Flintstone rainbow push-up I showed earlier. What else with the focus on ingredients? Well, let's just look at these two products. Organic, pasture-based, non-GMO ingredients, made with organic ingredients, omega-3s that are being added to it, organic whole milk. Again, a lot of emphasis on ingredient sourcing, which resonates with today's consumer who is reading labels. Here's Turkey Hill, all natural ice cream. I love how they put the ingredients, and of course they have an official nutrition facts and ingredient statement on the side or the back panel, but right up front they're telling you blueberry. Blueberry's just made with milk, cream, sugar, and blueberry puree. Nothing extra added into it. That blueberry puree may have some, extra natural color in it there, but nothing artificial, all natural, naturally simple as the packaging states. This is a brand new product. It was actually debuted at Expo West in 2017, this past March. Revel Whipped Gelato. And again, focusing on the ingredients here, I really like this very first one, how they say seasonal strawberries. Well, of course, strawberries are only harvested when they're in season, but it gives it like a special little flair, like, oh, these are maybe fresh, they're seasonal strawberries. They haven't been sitting around in a white tub in the back, for 3 years. So all of this, the Rhone Valley chocolate, so location, connecting a flavor or an ingredient to where it came from, all about the source. And so this trend here, or this product here, actually will bring us into pretty much one of the next trends very shortly. But first let's talk about trend number 3, craft process. Artisan, batch, handmade, these are all words that today's consumer just literally eats up. They want to know about the process as much as they want to know about the. Graters for Long has been making their handcrafted ice cream with their French pot ice cream. This is their signature line for their retail product and for their scoop shops. It's all about the handcrafted, and in the same note, it's also, just look at this. This is a brand new flavor that just came out this year. You'd think they heard my presentation. Look at that really basic, neutral flavor base and those big chunks of what really is real cheesecake pieces and real strawberries. Again, here we see the ingredient component coming into the craft component. We have organic craft ice cream made in the Pacific Northwest, specifically telling you where it's from. I love this. The mixed berry is sweet honey vanilla ice cream with Northwest berries. And even better, I love the tagline of handcrafted happiness. Nancy's Fancies. This might be hard to see actually on the package here, but Nancy is a chef, a pastry chef, and so it says this on this package. Outstanding Chef and Pastry Chef Award winner, Nancy Silverton's Nancy's Fancies Gelato. And so there's this whole range there in these clear packages, so you can see what's inside. You can see the real bits, the real chunks, the real whole food ingredients. And it's made by a chef, not just any chef, an outstanding chef, an award-winning chef. And so it gives the consumer this experience, or they feel like it's this intimate experience with some really prestige product, not just, a scoop of anything. And this is one I just had to throw up here because Turkish style ice cream. It's my understanding that this ice cream is known for being somewhat chewy. The ingredients are added in such a way, and it's a higher sugar product, that it actually has very interesting texture to it. But again, the idea here is all about sourcing ingredients, explaining ingredients, talking about the process. It's not just ice cream, it's Turkish style ice cream. Let me know more about this. It's very enticing, it's inviting, it gets the consumer to buy. Now, number 4, guiltless pleasure. This is all about better for you, less is more, beneficial extracts. It's about getting more nutrition for your calories and enjoying it just as well. This is all about baby boomers, aka hippies, are all into the guiltless pleasure. Here's a product for them, ProYo. This is just debuted at Expo West again this past March. It's a line of low-fat ice cream that's high in protein, 10 grams per serving. And this product actually originally came out as a frozen yogurt concept in a stick package a couple years ago, and now they're venturing into the pint. And it's a 14-ounce pint package, so to say, but very much popular package among today's consumers. Here's a couple more of these guilt-free pleasures. We have the Arctic Zero line with a tagline of fit frozen desserts. To me, it's actually really fascinating how they make this product. It's not technically an ice cream product, it's a frozen dessert, but they keep calories really low, and a lot of bad stuff out of it, a lot of good stuff in. It's loaded with protein and fiber, and it's lactose free, it's GMO free. I mean, it's all about the ingredients. You can see them claiming all this on the package. Last trend, number 5, snack time. Grazing has become the new normal, and consumers today are all about mindful snacking. It's a snackification of mealtime is widespread among millennials, and for many millennials, snacking is simply a necessity. Now, what is this picture here for snacking missing? It's missing ice cream. That's what we're going to talk about. So, there's definitely this opportunity to make ice cream a snack for different day parts. This chart up here with data from the Hartman Group shows you that 90% of consumers snack multiple times a day, and 7% of that 90 forego meals altogether in favor of all-day snacking. Now, they're not eating the same kind of snack food during each of those snacking periods, so they're looking for variety as much as, someone who has maybe just 1 or 2 snacks a day. Ice cream can be one of those snacks. You need to be able to choose ingredients and create a nutrition profile that appeals to the consumer, the snacking consumer. Okay, so most American millennial snackers eat a snack in place of a standard meal at least once a week. Half replace a meal with a snack at least 4 times a week, and more than a fourth do at least 7 times a week. This I found to be very interesting. Millennials find function in snacking. Just look at what millennials are saying about snacking. 78%, that's 3/4 of them, say snacks keep them full between meals. Almost 40% say snacks give them energy. 20% say healthier than eating 3 meals a day. 14%, which is actually quite a high number, say they're just too busy for traditional meals. So how can ice cream become that snack? It can satisfy a craving, it can give you energy, it can keep you full. There's a lot. So what are factors influencing snack choice? This is a really interesting data, I think, because it really resonates very well with ice cream as well as yogurt. This is from a Welch's Global Ingredients Survey from January of 2017. And the number one, this is kind of a no-brainer. Taste is number one. Flavor, again, not flavored foods, but flavors. 80%. Nutrition and health is, ranked as an influencer of snack by more than half of consumers surveyed, and convenience is right up there at almost half. But this is really important. Millennials are also looking for whole food ingredients, whole grains, real fruit, and nuts. Ice cream can deliver many of these things. When you think whole grains, think granola clusters with seeds in them. Quinoa clusters surrounded with cranberries and hazelnuts all in one piece, or maybe not all in one piece. Big chunks of all of these ingredients to appeal to the millennial snacker. Now, besides valuing real fruit, American millennials who snack also prefer to know the origin of the fruit in their snacks. So this is becoming very trendy. I showed you some examples earlier, the berry one where it was Northwest berries. Letting the consumers know where they were sourced. Was it local? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's from the Amazon rainforest, but let them know. 68% of the millennials survey respondents said it was important for them to know where the ingredients in their snacks came from. When it comes to snacking, now this Nestle snack size box is actually not existent right now, but seems like it was ahead of its time. It was a club store pack, but what a great idea to put these little mini versions. I think the little Dibs snack pack is a great idea, running out the door with your kid and just throw this to them. But it doesn't have to be a high sugar, high fat product. How can that little frozen ice cream product in a snack bag become just a little bit healthier? And then the mini treats. Blue Bunny does a great job of offering many, many, many options, and it's my understanding that they do very, very well for the brand. Oh, and Blue Bunny, thank you, thank you, thank you, because I think this is just the most amazing product. It's just rolling out right now. Blue Bunny, Bunny Snacks. They're just letting you know this is a snack. It's not a dessert, it's not a meal. It is a snack for those of you who snack. These are individually wrapped, I guess you could say coated ice cream cookie snacks. They're small enough in size. They're individually wrapped in clear packaging, and then that packaging is actually in this pouch type packaging. Very unique package for the freezer case, but mentally it actually just conveys that concept of, oh, this is a snack food that needs to be kept in the freezer. That's okay. There are other snack foods that need to be kept in the freezer, like Hot Pockets and various sandwiches. So this is not a bad thing to have to pull a snack out of the freezer, but let the consumer know it's a snack. This Feast snack bar is actually from overseas, but again, it gives you an example of putting the word snack on the package to communicate this to consumers. And then lastly, I mentioned the minis, these little bite-sized treats, individually wrapped, grab and the Moki product. Remember the Moki I showed you at the beginning that they're selling at Whole Foods in the grab and go? Again, Moki is very much a bite-sized single-serve piece and really making inroads here in the U.S. And then this Ben & Jerry's rolled this product out right now. I think besides the fact that it looks incredible, you can see all the pieces, you can identify them. I think they should have actually been called pint slice snacks. And a dessert snack have it be, but pint-sized snacks, pint-sliced snacks, yes. Okay, so as I wrap things up here, more than any other consumer group before them, millennials are influencing the perceptions, expectations, and purchasing behaviors of surrounding generations. Blame it on their hippie baby boomer parents who taught them to behave this way and to be disruptors. But by all means, millennials are doing it. Generation Z, though, and this is important, Generation Z is starting to turn 18. It's time to start focusing your innovation efforts on the next powerful foodie demographic. Now, I didn't talk to you at all about them because we're still starting to see their behaviors come into play, but I can tell you one thing. That Whole Foods that opened up in Chicago, it's basically the place where kids go to and hang out now. When I was a kid, we used to go to McDonald's or we went to the mall and hung out at the food court. Kids don't hang out at McDonald's anymore right now, or if they do, they're not the ones they're not desirable kids who hang out at McDonald's necessarily. Many malls don't exist anymore, and food court food is not necessarily what these these growing kids have been told is healthy to eat. That Whole Foods, there's healthy food for them. Oftentimes there's bands playing there, believe it or not. There's a coffee bar. There's actually a beer and wine bar in there, which of course, under 21 should not be going to, but kids are hanging out at Whole Foods. So that tells you something about how food is becoming such a central part of today's generations and the next. So key takeaways. Number one, use flavorful ingredients, not flavored ingredients. Number two, promote the source and certification of ingredients, non-GMO, organic, fair trade, etc. Number three, describe your unique craft process. Is it batch made? Is it made by a chef? Is it hand packed? Number four, more bang for the calorie. Pump it up with some protein, add some fiber, make a low glycemic product. And finally, number five, snackify ice cream. Create ice cream products with ingredients that resonate for different day parts. Have it be granola at breakfast, or maybe extra decadent for dessert for dinner. And have fun with it, because that's what ice cream is supposed to be. So thank you very much for joining me. If you do not get the e-newsletter Daily Dose of Dairy, please visit my website, berryondairy.com. There's a subscribe button for you to start getting innovation ideas in your inbox daily. And thank you very much to Pecan Deluxe Candy Company for supporting this presentation. Best luck to you on your creative endeavors.